Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I debated if I really cared about this because every year they do this, and to be honest with you, I do not at all. It's just too many games for me to really have interest in one or two games, but I know you guys care about this stuff, so we're going to talk about it. We got some games that have been released on the schedule. Of course, the full schedule gets released, I believe, today, but definitely this week. But we do have, the Christmas Day games and the opening night. One of the opening night games was available for me to check out. I think there was other games released as well, but these are the ones that I have for you. The Christmas Day games and one of the opening night games, because I didn't see the others. The Lakers are playing the Golden State Warriors in the first game of the season. I believe that game is here in LA. October 18th is when the season begins. Kind of disappointed I didn't see the other games that are going on that night, because I'm pretty certain it's not only one game taking place on opening night. But that's what I saw on the CBS excerpt that I was looking at. And we, of course, got Christmas Day games. I didn't really have a lot to say about GS Dub LAL because GS Dub just won a championship and LAL is not complete. We're not done. We personally, our team, if we start the season the way we're looking right now, we're not expecting to win too many games at all. Because we don't have pieces that fit just yet. But I'm pretty sure by the time that takes place, we will be in a different space. And if not, things will be very, very serious, and we'll be talking about them by then. So, Christmas Day. We got 5 games coming up on Christmas Day. Should be a very good day of basketball. Obviously, you don't really know how teams are going to pan out. Sometimes they be having these Christmas Day games expecting teams to be a certain way. You have injuries, players have a bad year, and you look up and you got 5 bad games. It's happened before. But this looks pretty promising, I ain't going to lie. We got some real big stars here. First game on slate for that day is Golden State versus Memphis. You got Ja, Dre. They've been talking a lot about wanting to play one another on Christmas Day, and they got it done. They were going back and forth on Twitter today in a very peaceful and happy way. Ja's put up there with the snarl face, the steam of the nose emoji, talking about we got what we wanted, Dre, Christmas Day or what have you. And Dre was like, for sure, yeah, man, power of the tongue, young. Come by after dinner bring the family. Come by after the game for dinner, bring the family. So I like that energy. I hope they make that happen, man. That'd be great for just those guys, man. Especially since they had such a really not interesting. That's the wrong way of putting it, but just a very strong series. You know what I mean? I thought it was a good, competitive, good energy, though. I thought people were respectful of one another, Golden State and Memphis. And I think that it's good to see rivalries like that, to where, yes, it's a rivalry we want to win, but when it's not going on, we really do appreciate and respect one another off the court. I like that energy. It's what the NBA should be all about, in my opinion. We could go to war on the court, but off the court, it shouldn't be bad blood at all. In fact, it should be good blood because it's a brotherhood. So that's what I like to see, and I hope those guys enjoy their Christmas. Hope they do that family thing. All right, next up, Lakers at Mavs. I resent this. This is one of LeBron's last seasons. You got him playing a road game on Christmas. Disrespectful. I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to mean it. Disrespectful. Luka Doncic should be coming to LeBron James on Christmas Day in year 20 of LeBron James' career, and we all know that. I don't know what kind of games y'all playing, but I don't like it, and I'm going to let it be known. But I think that's going to be a fantastic game. I think Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks are more than worthy of hosting a game at home on Christmas Day, especially since they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, had a good year for themselves. Obviously, they lost Jalen Brunson, bringing in Christian Wood. So we got an entirely different dynamic. They're bringing in JaVale McGee. So this is a tall Mavericks team. Very different style of play that Jason Kidd's going to have to run this year because of it, I believe. So we'll see if they can replace Jalen Brunson with some type of player that can help them with the scoring punch. If not, Spencer Dinwiddie's going to have to step up and be more consistent this season if the Dallas Mavericks are going to duplicate the type of success they had last year. I like Christian Wood. He's an excellent acquisition. He's going to be a good player for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm very much interested in seeing how the Mavericks look with that new dynamic in place. Can Christian Wood effectively replace the shooting, or not shooting, but the scoring that Jalen Brunson did? Because Jalen to get you almost 30 points. I think Christian Wood can make up that in an entirely different way. So it's going to be an interesting Mavericks year. My Lakers, like I said, we're not done. So until we find a way to get Kyrie Irving on this team, we're not supposed to win any of these games, in my opinion. With respect to our stars, I just don't see us winning games. We got to make this trade, and we know it. All right. Next up, Denver, I believe that is. Yes, Denver versus Phoenix. Now, I wasn't clear on where this game is being played because the way it was listed on the CBS thing I was looking at, it said LAL versus Mavs. When I saw earlier that game, it said Mavs versus LAL, when I know that game is in Dallas. So, with that being said, for all I know, this could be listed backwards. So from this point on, I don't know where the games are, but I know who's playing. Denver versus Phoenix. I like Denver versus Phoenix. I think it's going to be good because Denver's getting everybody back. I wonder if Boogie Cousins is still going to be on the Denver Nuggets. At the end of the season last year, he showed that he was a very, very key piece to what they were doing. He provided a great deal of scoring punch off the bench to help supplement the minutes that needed to come away from Jokic when he needs to take a breather or get in foul trouble. Boogie was coming in and was providing a great deal of production. I think the Denver Nuggets would be wise to bring him back on a one-year deal to see if he can continue being that player for them, because we know DeMarcus Cousins is one of the most talented players that we've had in this generation. He's just had some bad injury breaks, and of course the stuff that with the referees and all that left people looking at him a certain way. But nobody's ever going to say that in his prime he wasn't a top 3 center in the league. He was, and he was one of the more talented, naturally talented centers we had seen in this generation. So I not to single him out on a Christmas Day game, but he was such an intricate piece to what they were doing in the second half of the season that it just stands out. As soon as I see Denver, I'm like, I wonder if they're bringing him back. I think they should. But they're getting all their players back. Porter should be back at some point. Hopefully the back is healing up. Take his time with that. Murray, same thing. They got a long career ahead of them. They just got to get through the injury phase of their career, and I think they're going to do that. Denver's playing it smart, I believe. I still think those guys should wait until they're 150% to come back, because Denver is a contender. But if they aren't ready and they start the season, try to play an 82-game season, and their conditioning isn't right, it's going to throw their whole season off. So, yeah, that's what I think of Denver. They just need to take their time. And it's Phoenix shocked the heck out of me because it looked like Phoenix was about to go the wrong way. And when it was all said and done, they brought back just about everybody. They lost JaVale McGee, but they kept Ayton. And I think that other than that, I don't think they really lost anything. So Phoenix could very well come back and be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. The problem is, I do not believe they've addressed their biggest problem, which was three-point shooting. They didn't get themselves a shooter. The problem that they had when they got out of the playoffs last year was that they could not hit a shot. They went completely cold in the series that they lost against Dallas. And I think they still have the exact same problem that they had last year. So they, like the Lakers, probably should make another move. But I don't know that they will because they just signed Ayton and they kind of capped up and strapped up. But obviously they're still in play for Kevin Durant. I don't think that trade gets made because of how difficult it would be to make. But at the same time, when you start talking about third team, fourth team, fifth teams being added to the equation, there are ways of making things happen. So I wouldn't rule Phoenix all the way out of Kevin Durant even now. I would not do that. But we don't know who's going to be playing on that team at that time, but we do know they're going to be playing Denver on Christmas Day. All right, next up, New York Knicks versus the 76ers. New York Knicks. We've got to see if they're going to pull off the Donovan Mitchell trade. Who's still going to be on the team, who's not. Very much up in the air right now for the Knicks, but we do know, of course, they got Jalen Brunson, as we talked about, and he's going to be very much a focal point of what it is that they do going forward. 76ers, you guys know I love the 76ers this year. I became a Joel Embiid believer this past postseason. Seeing him fight his way through those 2 injuries, find a way to beat a Toronto team that I truly still don't believe they're better than. Not the team that they were. They shouldn't have beat Toronto. They did. They beat them handedly, and he did it hurt. And at that moment, I was able to really key in on him and understand exactly what it is to believe in there. I think that you're going to win an NBA championship and an MVP very soon, maybe even this season. I like the Sixers this year. I just do. I like them. I think James Harden's coming back better. I don't think he's going to be caught off guard by his body in any way. I don't think he's coming in bad shape at all. I think he's going to be a better version of himself than we've seen probably 3 or 4 years. Tyrese Maxey is going to be taking a step forward. I expect him to be an all-star or damn close to it. They're getting PJ Tucker. That's a big piece, even though it's like I prefer him to be on the second half of the season at this stage in his career playing more minutes than the first half. But he's still hell of a player to have down there helping you. Picking up DeAnthony Melton, I thought was a very good pickup. He's a really, really good player from the Memphis Grizzlies, point guard that they brought in that can kind of give them a boost on that bench, which was desperately needed for their team. So I like Philadelphia. They're not the deepest team in the world still, but I just think that they've been together a little bit now. They got some things settled out. They're building what it is that they're trying to build, and at this point, there's no controversy surrounding them. There's no Ben Simmons. There's no injuries. There's nothing that's keeping the Philadelphia 76ers from just starting the season and building what it is they're trying to put together. So I'm excited about them more so than I've ever been this season. This is the year where the Sixers, they're gonna get it right, in my opinion. I think they could be the team coming out of the Eastern Conference. So that game is going to be on slate. That's the fourth game of the day. I'm not sure where the game is, as I told you, but the New York Knicks and the Sixers will be faced off on Christmas. And the last game on slate, of course, is a repeat of the semifinals of the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. You got Boston team that could be headed for a full retooling. Obviously not rebuild if you're bringing in Kevin Durant, but a retooling for sure that could shake up their core in a massive way. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Obviously, nobody does, but that's the rumor as of this moment. So we just wait to see if Boston is going to be able to do that, and if so, it will fully define that game, obviously. And, it's Giannis, man. It's Giannis. You know exactly what you're going to get from Giannis. MVP level talent, hard effort, and humility. That's the Giannis brand, man. I'm a big fan. I've learned to appreciate his game more and more, and he's continuing to add things to it. His jump shot's looking better, and he's working. You know for a fact, Giannis is always going to look at himself as a player who's developing. That's his superpower. Besides his athleticism and his body, it's his motor and his humility. It keeps him working. It keeps him looking for ways to get better, even though he can dominate everybody all day long. He's never satisfied, and because of it, he's never going to stop getting better. So, as far as I can tell, Giannis is a problem as long as he decides he wants to be. And that should scare us all. That is the slate. That's what we got. Those are the Christmas Day games. That's the opening night game that I have. Like I said, I'm never excited about the schedule. A game is a game, is a game, is a game, is a game. When you have 82 games plus another, 16 games? Yeah, one or two. That's promotional stuff. That's not as important to a basketball fan like myself, who's kind of looking at the season as a whole. And because I look at it that way, I'm one of those guys who looks at the Christmas Day game and says, if it makes sense to sit my star that game, I'm sitting it. I'm that guy. You're going to hate me as a coach because I'm like, look, if my guy played a back-to-back and that second back-to-back happens to be a Christmas Day game, I may just sit him on Christmas. Because it's not about the short term of the situation. Yes, you want to entertain, you want to make sure fans are, but at the end of the day, that's one of 82. And then when you focus so much on that game, you might mess around and lose all the games surrounding that game because you're focused so much on that game, when really that game only holds significance from a marketing standpoint. Otherwise, it's just a Christmas Day away from your family if you're these players. So I've never been a huge fan of the Christmas Day game as somebody who appreciates what players are having to deal with. I would much rather nobody play on Christmas and guys be able to spend the day with their family. But they're doing their passion. A lot of guys love playing on Christmas, including our favorite stars. So, it's a good thing I'm not in control of the situation. What I do want to see is guys stay healthy. What I do want to see is a slate of good basketball on Christmas, because at the end of the day, we do like watching the games on Christmas Day, and I ain't going to lie about that. But I just feel like, you see a situation like this, LeBron's got to go where on Christmas? You got to be in Dallas? Why? Because it's a gameplay? No, he should be at home on Christmas with his kids. So that is just how I feel as a man, not as a basketball fan. But anyway, it is what it is, man. I'm happy that we have a schedule here. I'm happy we're not in a lockout, and I do anticipate a lockout is coming. So everybody needs to enjoy this upcoming season, because there won't be one after that if my anticipation comes true. Because I don't think that lockout is going to be a short one. I don't. I think the problems that we have are big. I think the way people are viewing those problems are wrong, and because of it, the impasse is imminent. So we need to, unless people all start coming around to what it is I think I see, which is the system itself is flawed, not the people involved in it. Once they come to that conclusion, then the negotiation process should be easier. But emotions are high, patience is low, and I expect a lockout of catastrophic proportions. I just do. I don't think we're entering a space where the NBA is going to be played for a little while after this season, and I'm just going to be completely honest about it. I don't see no solution. I don't think people are prepared to compromise in a way that would satisfy the other side. I don't think that. So I'm gonna enjoy the season. Hopefully the Lakers can be the champions of it. That's as a Laker fan, that's all I care about at the end of the day. So that's what I gotta say, man. I'd love to end it on a higher note, but I always like preparing people for what I see down the pipeline. I don't want people to be caught off guard by what it is that I see. I see a lockout. That's coming. That is coming. Because these 4-year, 5-year deals, players aren't ever going to want to give that up, because that secures their future in the league to do what it is they love doing and make their money. Owners have no desire at this point to trust that a player is going to honor those contracts because of what's been going on with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Anthony Davis, and so on since the last collective bargaining decision. So the impasse is imminent. There is no question at all about those two sides coming together and saying we do not agree. The question is, how quickly can they come to a conclusion that they can live with? And the answer is probably not right away. Probably not right away. So that's what I gotta say. That is pretty much my thought on the matter. I don't think I want to add anything else to this video, but I will call this an NBA chat since we added more to it. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.